Hey, look at my stuff. This device is called a Palm Pilot. It's a really cool device, and just recently I obtained this, and it takes me back 20 years. Yes, 20 years ago I had one of these, 2002. When I got one, it wasn't the actual brand Palm, which this one is. The Palms were more expensive at that time. I'll let you know that now they're obsolete. And the reason is, anything a Palm Pilot can do, you can do on your phone, and then more, a lot more. But these Palm Pilots kind of were around when we still had, and I still do have, flip phones. And I won't tell you the reason I still have a flip phone. That's my own reason. I have a vast knowledge of how to use technology, and yes, I do have all kinds of devices, but when I'm going from one place to the other, I still stick to a cell phone. That's beside. This is a different story for a different day and why I have a flip phone. But during the time that only flip phones were I guess best technology of mobile phone during that time, these devices came out, and what they did is they were quite easier to use, more than the phone. I mean, as you can see, and I have to cover because my wife, I have a beautiful picture of my wife on the phone. She doesn't want to be on the videos, but as you can see, there's no QWERTY keyboard here. So the things that you need to do, like typing in your contacts, using the calculator, I guess that's not a big deal, putting in events in a calendar, writing emails, anything that you needed to do with text, was a little bit, it took up a bit of time because you had to figure out a way to just kind of press the buttons and eventually get those letters in it. Anyways, this device was what that device could not do. It stored your contacts, it had the calculator, it had notes, it had calendar events, it had games sometimes. And what you do is, and events that came up with co-workers and such, you could sync them together. And this really was the start of our smartphones today. What they did is they took the Palm Pilot and they, got together and then they made one of these. Oh shoot, I can't show you because no, I can show you. I got another one. See, I'm not too far behind. This is my Samsung phone, and then they made one of these, which is much better today. But I'm trying to stay on the subject of what this is, and so I'll tell you the story first. Back 2002, the year I graduated, my mom got me one of these, and it was the lower brand, and it probably was from Rite Aid, Walgreens, something like that. But I spent so many hours on it, and what I did is I just played the games. I just thought it was the coolest thing when it came out. And you know how technology goes, it gets better and better, and then these go away. Well, I can tell you now, Palm, the brand, and the Palm Pilot has vanished, gone. They've been gone for a while. But these devices, I mean, I saw a commercial about this where a girl was on a train and she's just kind of writing in her stuff, and she sees another guy on the other side of the train with a Palm Pilot, and she goes, "Oh, I like the way you look. Hey, send me your number." And she'd put her Palm Pilot really close to the window, and the guy on the other train, just before they take off, sends his number, or she sends him her number. My goodness, she sends him her phone number via Palm Pilot. Now, that was just the start of the cool things that these could do. Now, this one isn't quite as advanced as that Palm Pilot. This one, you have to actually plug it into a computer to sync it. What I'm going to do as I go through what this device is I'm going to show you all the features of what's on it, like the applications. I don't know if they were known as applications back then. And I'm also going to show you how it would sync to the computer. So I'm going to put little chapters down below. So if you want to just kind of learn about just the certain things on this or the certain software that it used on the computer, you can skip to those things. But this one I have tried to turn on. This would have been the power button right here. I guess I could get a little closer here and start kind of showing you. This would have been the power button right here, and it would turn on and it would have everything right there. This thing's so old that the battery cannot do it can't be mobile. It has to be plugged in to be working. And so that's what I'm going to have to do to start going through the features that are on here. So I'm going to turn my camera around because the thing that I plug it into is actually a dock for it, and we'll get a better view, and you will no longer just look at my ugly mug. So let's do that right now. Boop. Okay, so let's start talking about the features of what this Palm Pilot comes with. It comes with this. This is actually optional, but it's a nice cover to protect the screen right there. It comes with a stylus because you will be using this screen here to do your things. And this right here is a dock that is optional, and you purchase it separately, that you can sync what you have put on your Palm Pilot onto the computer. Now, this right here, as I've said before, will not turn on, and the battery does not hold a charge anymore. It's pretty darn old. But the amount of use on this is, I don't think it was used that much. It must have been bought as a gift or something. I mean, there's not many scratches, just dust here. I kind of tried to dust it off a little bit, but the screen is still just pretty neat, and no smudges or anything. It even has the plastic. Ooh, yeah, you know, it's one of those moments, the plastic that's never been removed. Let's peel that off right now. Ooh, gotta love doing that. Now, if I turn it around here, you'll see that there's no way to put your own batteries in. So there's nothing I can do to make this work wirelessly or carry it with mobile, to make it mobile. It comes with a spot to put in an SD card, but I'm pretty sure if you stuck something in today with how many gigabytes we use currently in these days, it would probably freak out and say that it can't read it. Back then, you did not need a lot of space for this data. I think it would just fry it. I don't know. But let's go ahead and put this on the dock so we can turn it on. And let's open this up here. So as you can see, every time I pull it off the charger, is there a better angle I can get at? I'm going to put something underneath. Let's use Mario Brothers, the Lego build. And that should be tall enough. Let's put you right there. There we go. I think you can see a little bit better if I angle it. So we have the setup screen like it's being started for the first time, obviously because the battery can keep a charge. Let's pull out the stylus here and start working with it. Welcome. The following screens, it just tells you what to do. So go ahead and tap. Now it says, and I might be moving this as I'm working here. I'm sorry if I'm bumping the camera. It tells you it needs to set up and determine where the stylus hits, I believe. So we just tap those points, and the date is still 1/1/2000. Yeah, battery just, there's not even a backup battery on that, so we'll just leave it as is. But it is not, that's not the current date at all. We're in 2022. So let's just say that is. And it's got all these skills to teach you how to do these things, but we're going to skip that just so I could get to the home screen here. Now the home screen has all these, today you'd call them apps. One for addresses. And first of all, I don't know if you can notice here and see, the contrast seems to be quite off. It is very dim. Let's see. We have to make it a little bit brighter. And I still think the tilt is too much of a tilt. Okay, I'm done here. And so I'm going to stuff a bunch of business cards, as much as I can, underneath here. Give me a moment. And tilt it up a little bit more. I really want you to see this. We'll leave it at that right now. So we have an address book, calculator, card info. Well, we don't have a SD card in there, so there's nothing in there. Clock, date book, which would be your calendar. Now, graffiti was a new thing that Palm came up with. It was cool during its time. Today it's like, nah, that's kind of dumb. But what you do is it teaches you how to use this area right here. I don't know if you see these notches on top and bottom, but anything you put in this side of this big rectangle box is a number. Anything you put on this side is a letter. And how this works, if you were a fast reader, it probably told you right now. So how this works is, let's bring up memo pad here in the middle, and we're gonna make a new one. And as we use this down here, I'm gonna do, I don't know if you can see, that's an A, B, C. So as you create these letters, it would automatically put it in for you. Now, if we were currently still working with that today, I'm sure a lot of people would be doing this and going, but now we don't need to do that. We have even keyboards that, as you slide your fingers all over the place on each letter in the QWERTY keyboard, it automatically assumes you're typing a certain word. I don't even know what that's called, but this is useless, I think. C, D, A, B, C, D, E. See, now, if you're not supposed to pick up your stylus. If you pick it up, it's done. So F would be an upside down L or whatever. So I think you can see it, but A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, if you're going to the numbers, you go to this side. 1, 2, 3. And that's what that was used for. So as we go back home, graffiti that's what it was called, graffiti. And you use that in that way rather than a QWERTY keyboard. And it's just telling you how to do it. Now, also in this rectangle box down here, in each corner there's something. As you noticed probably earlier, when I did the contrast, I just tapped this corner and I was available to adjust the contrast. And it seemed quite low. This corner is the clock. This one will actually bring up the QWERTY keyboard. We're not in an area where we need it. Oh, okay, we're back to this. So there you go. Then you can have your keyboard rather than using the graffiti, I guess, application. Let's go back home. Then over here is the 1, 2, 3 if you wanted to use the numbers. So hot sync. Now that would be this right here. I think you can see it. No, you can't. I'll lift it a little bit. This button right here, the hot sync button. And that's going to be what we're going to do to sync whatever we put in here to the computer or vice versa. Have not used that yet, and I don't know if it will work. We're going to try. Memo pad, it's just notepad for typing. Now, notepad on theirs is just so you can write on the screen. Let's do a new one.
let's see. Whoa, this is terrible. K-A-E-11. Wow, it doesn't look like I spelled it right, just how it live. Yeah, well, that's fun. That's what that does. Notepad. Then preferences. You can set your date and time, your connection. Now, all connection looks like from right here, looks like it has to be connected to this device, this dock right here, and it connected to the internet via modem, dial-up of some type. So let's go back here. Let's go back to preferences. What else we got? Buttons, how you want to have your buttons set up. Now I'm not going to go through all these. You could probably find other places. System, those are your system apps. So, oh, whoops, I wasn't where I was earlier. So let's buttons, digitizer. Now I have to make sure it knows again where I need to tap. Formats, general, the screen, network. Now this is interesting. Whoops, let's go back to network. Some of these I remember that I don't think are even used anymore. CompuServe, Earthlink. These are some old networks. The owner, or some preferences, like if you do some shortcuts and you type in BR, it's going to automatically put in breakfast for you. You can put as many or take off these, you know, just if you type in DI, dinner will automatically come up. That was cool. The owner, who owns this? And then you can type in your name. So let's do a, how would a K work? I wonder if it's like, nope, that's a V. Forget that. Let's bring up a QWERTY keyboard here. K-A, AKA 11. That's who owns this. Now, as soon as I pull this off this dock, it's going to erase everything as it has before. So that's preferences. Security, you can make a password, make sure nobody gets in this, but I don't know if anybody will ever want to steal one of these ever again. They were really cool back then. To-do list, don't forget to register. Buy bananas. Vacuum the cat. You know, you can put those kind of things in there, and then you go down a little bit further and you have the welcome screen. If I do that again, it'll start all over just like it did the setup, and we've already seen that before. That's pretty much it. Now mine came with games, and I did play a few of those games. I don't remember what they were, but I spent time playing a lot of those games. Probably like Tetris. That's always the choice game. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you tap up here, you have some other options. If I can get it, preferences, we have an app for that. If you tap up here, you can see games. Obviously there's no games on this one. Main, these are main ones. System ones. What we have been doing is we've just been showing all the apps, but they're divided into categories. Now this right here, and I'm looking at my screen to make sure you can see, is a drop-down menu of what we just did earlier. So it's the same thing as tapping up here. Calculator in this corner. Okay. Search if you want to find something. Okay. And then down here you have quick buttons for your calendar. Oops, I'm not tapping right. Phone, contacts. Come on. Your list. I mean, all these apps were here anyway, so these are, I mean, it's doubling up. And then they called it a notepad, where you can draw something. Real quick note. Now that was cool for me back then. It was really, really cool. Now let's go to this. Here's something that I want to try out that I haven't done yet. I want to try to sync this and see how it works with this computer. Another thing before we go, if you closed this, well, first you had to kind of turn it off. If you close this and you just needed to tap that button, that open space right there, it just showed you the time. That's all that really did. But other than that, it's a protective screen. We'll keep that open right now. And I already have, so there is no software anymore for this unless you have an unopened box and it came with the CD. I downloaded this from the internet. There's no such thing as the Palm website anymore. Palm.com is something else. It's like headphones. But it used to be Palm.com where you could go and download software for these. I found this on a different site. I recommend you don't do that unless you know what you're doing. So let's install this. I'm gonna see how this goes, and I've already pre-placed this. So on this dock that the Palm Pilot is on, it has two cords that go out. One is to the wall, the outlet, and the other one goes to a USB in the computer. So let's continue here. Yes, I accept that all those things that don't matter anymore. You should always read those anyway. Downloaded latest settings from the internet. You know what? That'd be cool if it can do it. I don't think this is able to do that anymore, but we'll try it out. Okay, installing. I'm going to put this, no, I'm going to keep the stylus out. The stylus goes right there. It's kind of just a little dock. If you've ever played with a Nintendo with the Nintendos with the stylus, little Game Boys, pretty much the same. Do you want a shortcut on your desktop? Do I want a shortcut or a shortcut on my desktop? I don't want either. Yeah, I didn't think so. I think this is too old to access updates or access the internet. So we're not going to try to upgrade anything. Congratulations, it worked. Give your device a name. All right. Ooh. It's hard to type when my keyboard's way off to the side here. It's actually, I had to move it way over here. Okay, Palm Desktop. Let's use all. Select an application to use your personal data. We might as well go with the company supplied program. Okay, configuring. Now, before you begin, make sure you have fully charged your device. We can't do that. Turn on your device and complete device setup. We've done the device setup, doing that. And connect the USB cable to both your PC and device. We're doing that as we set it in the dock right here. Whoops. That's skip? Where's the other option? No, I don't want to skip. Oh, maybe I just press this. Remember the button I showed you earlier down here? That one? Maybe I just press that. Let's try it. Ooh, we got a cool new screen. Connecting with desktop using cradle cable. Okay. Hopefully something's going to happen real soon. And I don't see anything. It should go a little bit faster than that. Let's cancel. Come on. It's not even canceling. Oh, whoa. Okay. So oops, I just want to go home. Here we go. Let's try it this way. Well, that's the same thing. Okay, so it's trying to, and this might not work. I'm hoping this will, but it is ancient software. Let's hit the skip here, because I don't want to leave you hanging there. So finish. Now I'm going to open the application, which should be right here, the very first one. All right, let's get rid of this. trying to do this without disconnecting from the dock, because that will reset everything. Palm Desktop is not currently your default handler for vCard, V-file types. Would you like to make it default handler? Nah. All right, so everything we do here, media, I don't think we can do. Some components require, the connection between your, okay, so I got a little error down here. It's not, they can't connect, so try again. Okay, we'll try again later. Some components required for playing and editing video clips. I highly doubt that this can play video clips, but that'd be cool. It would be very retro, wouldn't you think? Let's go to I want to let's see, I want to add, I don't think this is going to work, but what we're seeing here is what you would use to transfer back and forth your calendar, your contacts, the to-do list, memo pad. Media was for more the later versions that kind of turned into almost phones. I believe they did at one time, kind of the first Palm. And by the way, these were considered p.d.a.s, which were what do they call it? Personal digital assistants. I don't think people use that word anymore. They use tablets, whether it's an iPad or a Kindle or whatever. But these were p.d.a.s. You know. Let's see here. I really want to get this connected, but I don't think it's going to work. Is that doing anything? Nothing. Well, I don't need to just kind of delay this and draw this out, but you can see how this used to work. And this is pretty much all the things that you can do on your cell phone, all the things that we're doing here, all the things that we're doing here, and yes, my flip phone right here. All these things together have been combined to our smartphones. So it doesn't need to be done anymore. So what I'm getting at is you could see why these Palm Pilots failed, these p.d.a.s, because when smartphones took over, you did not need these separate devices. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, like nobody really carries around solar-powered pocket calculators in their pockets anymore because their phone has a calculator. Not only that, you don't even need to type anything in. All you have to do is ask, whether it's Google or Siri or some other device, Jeeves, ask Jeeves, and it automatically pops up with the answer. What's 2 + 2? So it was cool. This device was amazing during its time, but you can see right now it's not that interesting. There's not much use for it. But yeah, I mean, pretty much there you have it.
So finding this device being buried back in a storage area, it got me really tickled. I mean, I was tickled pink to find this thing, but after playing with it for the very short time that we have today, I could see why I was excited when they came out during that time, but today there's so much more far advanced technology than the Palm Pilot. So, you know, I mean, good memory, but not worth it, not worth carrying around. I don't think it's even worth carrying around going, oh, let me check my Palm Pilot, because there's so much work involved. You have to go back and forth to your computer and sync it all the time, and then once you're ready to call somebody and you bring up your contacts, then you bring out your flip phone and then type it in, and your flip phone might already have all your contacts in it anyway. So yeah, but cool little device. I hope you learned something. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, I have more stuff to show off. Eventually, I'll get through all the things that I have that probably nobody's ever heard of and nobody wants to hear about anymore. But I'll see you guys next time. Later, Gator.